Puerto Rico is still dealing with the devastating effects of Hurricane Maria nearly 16 months after the deadly Category 4 storm slammed ashore. 3.2 million Americans live in the U.S. territory. In 2017, Puerto Rico had 710 homicides. That's more per capita than any U.S. state. Last year, though, the number dropped to 641. But so far this year, 22 people have been murdered on the island. David Begnaud is in Dorado with a look at the island safety challenges. David, I've been to Dorado at the resort where you are, so I know you're safe there, but other places, not so good.
Not so good, Gail. Look, this is paradise. We know that. But there are a lot of real problems here that people have asked us to talk about. In fact, when we planned this trip for Hamilton, I went on social media and I asked folks, what's the #1 story we can dig into for you? And what we heard more than anything else was crime. So we have spent the last 5 days focusing on that and talking to key players, some of whom believe there is a crisis of violence on this island. And videos like the one I'm about to show you are why a lot of people are afraid here. This is not a war zone. It's San Juan, Puerto Rico last Sunday. Gunfire erupted in an area frequented by tourists near the airport. A man is killed in the middle of the street by a gunman who shoots him again as the driver flees. The next day, 2 brothers were shot when a driver pulled up and opened fire in broad daylight. Then Wednesday, a gunman walked up to a man in his car at a gas station in Dorado and killed him at 8:40 in the morning. Do you feel safe walking down the street at night?
No, definitely not.
Kira Nieves Pearson walked with us through the tourist area of Condado. She used to live here.
It's not even perception. It's my husband getting held up at gunpoint. It's my mom getting carjacked. You know, it's everybody that I love has been a victim, and it's happened here.
Douglas Leff is the top FBI official in Puerto Rico. He says the island is facing a crisis of violence. What percentage of homicides here on the island are gang-related?
Sadly, it's pretty close to 100%.
Leff told us the motives behind almost every killing are money, survival, and drugs.
They could send the entire FBI down here and they would still be overworked. That's just the situation that we have here.
You can now go to a precinct and sometimes you only find 1 police officer.
Colonel Michelle Fraley was the superintendent of the Puerto Rico Police Department in 2017 during Hurricane Maria. She asked if one of our armed security guards would escort her to our interview because she doesn't go outside after 6 p.m.
Personally, at night, I don't leave my house unless it's an emergency that I have to go to the hospital.
That is a hell of a statement from the woman who used to be the head police.
It is what it is.
I'm not hearing anybody say what can specifically be done to make this better.
It's very easy. The government has to set priorities. A couple of weeks ago, $500,000 were taken out of the salary account from the police department and moved to the fire department.
They're robbing Peter to pay Paul.
Correct.
Who's going to work in a place that you're going to risk your life for everybody, and you don't have no benefits, no money, they don't pay extra hours?
That's veteran Puerto Rico police officer Julio Centron Hernandez. He's planning to resign in June. But for now, he's using his paid time off to work at a warehouse in Florida.
I'm talking about thousands of co-workers. They've been resigning, and they've been jumping to United States to find some work, decent work, with benefits.
How many police officers have left the force in the last 10 years?
10,000.
10,000?
Yeah.
Sergeant Gregorio Matias represents one of 7 police unions here. He says the officers who are still serving are demoralized, overworked, and underpaid. Just last week, a police officer went into a bank and took a hostage, saying he wanted to send a message. No one was hurt. That's something, right? All right, so the Puerto Rico Secretary of Public Safety, Hector Pesquera, told us this in writing. He does not believe there is a crisis of violence. He thinks these social media videos are highlighting sort of a larger problem that he doesn't think exists. And he says at the end of the day, this bankrupt island is having to cut every department, including the police. But Gail, the real issue here is so many police officers continue to leave the island by the hundreds. I talked to 10 of them just this week who left the island and left their families behind in search of better pay and benefits.
Wow, it's such a beautiful island with beautiful people, but that's a very grim picture you painted. Thank you very much, David.